Why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself and your background?
Yes, and thank you again, Valeria, for making the time and Placement International for putting this all together. We're really excited to spend the quality time with you all and share a little bit about the Hermitage Hotel and what we can do to support. A little bit about myself. My name is Zachariah Mayer. I'm the recruiting and training manager here at the Hermitage Hotel. So I support talent acquisition and team training and development. And so, with that being said, my background, I have a pretty extensive background in senior retail leadership, believe it or not, posting about 16 plus years and recently made the transition into luxury hospitality, which is very exciting. And so, I think my passion is people. Paired with innovation, and I love solving complex people problems and just being in service to our community, both externally and internally as well. So, again, thank you so much, Valeria.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you, Zachariah, for being with us. Before we dive into our conversation, for those who may not be familiar with the Hermitage Hotel, let me share why this property holds such a legendary place in American history. Meet me at the Hermitage Hotel has been one of Nashville's most iconic phrases for over a century. When those words are spoken today, they still evoke a timeless sense of quality, excellence, glamour, and the absolute assurance of a memorable experience. The Hermitage Hotel is one only property in Tennessee to hold both the Forbes 5-Star Award and the AAA 5 Diamond Award, a distinction that fewer than 1% of hotels worldwide achieve. Additionally, their signature restaurant, Drusie Darr, is the flagship of Chef Jean-Georges' Culinary program, welcoming guests with refined seasonal cuisine and impeccable ambience. This is luxury hospitality at the absolute pinnacle. And today we're going to learn what it takes to be part of this exceptional team. So, Zakaria, could you tell us about what makes this property so special and what the vision is for maintaining those Forbes 5-star and AAA 5 diamond standards every single day?
Great question, Valeria. And we are just so excited to share our passion about our property. And, for the Hermitage Hotel, we're very fortunate that we've been in service to the community for over 115 years. So, talk about timeline and legacy. That we've had quite a few years to really polish our service standards. And so, with that 115-year tenure, we are very fortunate to serve an international guest and build those long-lasting relationships with them. I would say that our team is very passionate about service and really leaning in on our hotel history and heritage about, how do we evolve and grow as an organization? How do we elevate year over year? And I think what's really great is that the team is so passionate about service and we all have our different perspectives and it's something we celebrate. So everybody gets to contribute to how to elevate that service, how to make it more bespoke, intentional, and just really being in service to our people. Again, our community externally and then our people internally as well.
Time after time, we hear from our partners that passion is something very important. So, if you're watching us, dear candidates, please, this is a hack to go over any interview. Just show your passion to our hospitality. Well, the Hermitage Hotel maintains these awards: Forbes 5-star, triple five diamond awards, and actually two Michelin keys, which is incredibly rare. What does that level of service excellence actually mean for the team members on a practical day-to-day basis? What's expected, and how does the hotel support their staff in meeting those standards?
Great question. So, for us, service is everything. I feel like it's part of our DNA, if you will. And so, with that, it's what we do. It's what we do for each other. It's what we do for our community. As our organization is a high level of excellence, we do operate over 970 plus service standards
Oh, wow.
throughout the entire organization. Yes. Now, what's funny is that sounds like a lot on the front end, right? But when we think about service and that intentionality, a lot of this comes natural, right? Like opening a door for someone or greeting someone with a warm salutation, using a guest or a person's last name. Those are things that as we grow in the service industry become natural. So with that, we have over those 970 plus service standards, and I like to say that we have that many ways to show our guest appreciation, and where we get to take care of our guests. And so with that, and servicing and supporting the training and development of those standards, each department has their own rubric of standards to follow. And then from there, we train and develop within the first 90 days on just the basics, right? On, how to move graciously with a guest, how to ask open-ended questions and answer questions. How do we maintain phone etiquette and communication? And just how do we provide that sense of place? For our guest. And then from there, we start to scale, right? Like we've built out that foundation for those standards. And now let's get into the surprise and delight. Let's get into the customization and that bespoke service that we pride ourselves on. Beyond that, then we also have our departmental meetings where each department will sit down with their team members to recap performance and, set those goals with the team members. We do a secret shop quarterly, which is where we'll have an outside source come in and experience the hotel from the very beginning to the very end, the arrival through departure, and then provide us that feedback on what we're doing great and what are our areas of continued refinement. And then in addition to that, if that wasn't enough, we'll do interdepartmental training because we really find that it's extremely important that every employee gets to understand the entire guest life cycle. So that way, if let's say you're working in food and beverage, that you understand why and how the guest operates from arrival to check-in to arriving to their room and what that pace looks like and how do we engage so that way if a food and beverage team member gets the request from guest services that, hey, a guest wants a latte in their car ready to go in 5 minutes, that they understand why that might be that sense of urgency. So, to kind of recap, we've got service standards. We've got training that happens initially with those 90 days as a baseline. We build and grow from there with departmental touch bases. We have secret shop, and then lastly, that ongoing interdepartmental training as well to support.
So literally every single detail counts towards the experience of your guest, and you're working all the way around it to make sure everything is at the 100% beautiful, the most amazing level.
Exactly.
I would
Exactly.
love to be that secret person coming to the hotel to experience that, just to see for myself how it actually works. And definitely, I would love to experience Nashville from that point of view, which is considered to be one of the most amazing places in the US. It has such a distinctive culture, music, Southern hospitality, and creativity. How does those work together with the Hermitage Hotel, and how does the Hermitage work culture reflect that Nashville energy? Including what qualities do you look for most in candidates joining your team?
Valeria, I gotta say that Nashville is such a growing market right now, and it is so exciting. I've heard recently this term used that we're the new Vegas of the South, which I found very humorous to say the least. But with that being said, our market's growing, and we're really excited. We've had quite a lot of investment over the past 3 years here in Nashville, where we're seeing condos, towers, apartments, housing just boom as we're expecting and experiencing, other markets to come join Nashville.
Mhm.
The U.S. dollar does really well here in the city, so you get more bang for your buck, if you will, which is really great. So we're seeing some additional bigger cities like California, like LA, San Diego, San Clemente. Orange County. We're seeing other states too. So states California, states New York, the Carolinas, and Florida. I myself am from originally Orlando, Florida. So we're seeing this market grow. We're also seeing a diversification of business, essentially. So from hospitality, we're seeing a humongous hospitality footprint grow. We're seeing ongoing retail developments. We just gained Hermes and their grand opening just a few weeks ago, about maybe 10 minutes away from the hotel. So we're seeing ongoing retail development, real estate. I mean, the list goes on. So in summary, in regards to Nashville, it's a growing market. It is very lively. So we have travelers that come for the music. We're known as Music
Yeah.
City. So we have our Broadway, which has all of the whether it's the honky tonk bars or those special event spaces where you can hear some fantastic music, that whether it's homegrown or just visiting. So we have some fantastic music outlets. But in addition to that, there's more than just music. So there's a lot of things to do here in Nashville. We've got beautiful fields and farming and horses and all those things just right outside of the downtown proper. So there's some really exciting things within the Nashville market. And in regards to how do we match that energy and how do we, bring in that talent to support that market growth, it's all about diversity. It's about, how do we, as a team, and I think we do this really well here, is that collaboration where, let's say, Valeria, you and I are at a table, and you see the trunk of an elephant, and I see the tail of the elephant. But if we're so committed to seeing only what we want to see, in fact, we're actually going to miss it. There's an elephant in between us. So our
True.
team does a really good, right? So our team does a good job of saying, hey, guess what? I see the tail. What do you see, Valeria? And then, we co-collaborate in that way. So, that diverse perspective, the diversity of background, the diversity of skill set is so important. To make sure that we have appropriate representation,
Mhm.
that we're able to connect with the guest on multiple levels, right? Because our goal ultimately is to provide a sense of place, security, privacy, and service. And so we really want to make sure that every guest feels at home when they stay with us, regardless of where they're from. And so for us, it's really about making sure that we lean in on, diverse backgrounds of experience, diverse backgrounds of just cultural backgrounds and linguistics, right? Like we really celebrate that bilingual candidate or the additional languages because, again, we want to make sure we can connect and share that message of service and experience of service with everyone. And no one is excluded from that table. Everyone has a seat. So those are some things that are really important to us in regards to paralleling our talent with our market.
It's great to see so much appreciation for your talent and what cultures they bring to your property as well. Besides what Canada is going to be exposed in Nashville and the music city part of it and all of the excitement of growth and booming area, what can they expect from the Hermitage Hotel in sense of benefits?
Oh, great question. So let's start with compensation, right? Money.
That's a good
You
one, yes.
I think compensation is very important as we all have, personal responsibilities. We have a life outside of work, and that's really important. We celebrate that. So
Mhm.
compensation, and that isn't just the only thing, right? Like that's the baseline, and then we build from there. We have some really fantastic benefits that we've really rolled out. One that's been an ongoing, which is every employee here at the Hermitage Hotel has free food for their shift. So we actually have our Hidden Hermit Cafe, which is for employees only. And so what that looks like is right out of our Jean-Georges kitchen. Our team produces meals, both salad bar, warm meals, and free fountain drinks of your choice for every shift. The good news is that it's not the same meal every day, right? Like that there's rotation in
It's
those
good to hear,
food
yeah.
food offerings. You never know. We just want to clarify. But you have a fantastic, diverse opportunity for different meals to really enjoy for every shift, which is great savings versus having to meal prep or go and spend additional funds on food. So we spoke about food. We also have, and this is a recent contract we were able to solidify in just the past 6 months, is our WeGo public transportation that's here in Nashville. We were able to obtain and successfully sign off on our contract with our WeGo public transportation that every employee has a fully subsidized WeGo public transportation pass for a full year at their will. So, any of our candidates that eventually do become employees, that if they're looking to save money on Uber, Lyft, on a car payment, car insurance, gas, any of that, that we offer this fully subsidized complimentary travel here within Nashville via our public transportation system as a way to additionally give back to our employees to help them save. You know, we really want to support that work-life balance. So we've talked about compensation, complimentary meals for each shift, complimentary public transportation, and that's not all. You know, we have our team outings that we get to do, which are really fun. We do a variety of different team outings, whether it's departmental, whether it's the entire organization. Just recently, we did our summer full organizational team outing where the hotel paid for an entire day at one of our water parks here
Oh,
in
wow.
Nashville, where all of our employees could bring their friends and their family, their immediate friends, like relatives, I should say, and family, complimentary on the hotel's um, account. Essentially, is the best probably way to put it. So we brought, you know, all of our employees, their family and their loved ones for a fun day at the water park. Food was offered and complimentary as well. It's just a way to give back. That, you know,
That's a
here we
big
are in
crowd.
right?
Yeah.
And it's just thinking about how we're so giving, you know, and I think our organization, we're all very giving to one another and to our guests that we want to make sure we give back to our team because we are so giving. So that was a recent fun outing, and that happens annually. We revisit it each year. So it's not necessarily that it's going to be the same thing each year. We try to, you know, continue to elevate just like our standards, and really make it fun and relevant. And then, you know, we have another upcoming, really exciting outing that's coming up, actually in January for our team annual holiday party. And
Is it
so
secret or you can share with us?
Yes. We're doing this holiday party where it's going to be post the holiday season, just because we have that guest that's here currently we want to serve. But then post the holiday season, we're actually doing a really fun buyout of our ballroom where we'll have a DJ, a photo booth, complimentary food. We were talking to Chef just the other day where he's going to be serving prime rib and a few other fantastic food offerings. We're going to have dancing and prizes and giveaways where essentially for those employees that are able to attend,
Mhm.
even if they're working, they're still able to take their lunch or meal and come and join us. That every employee is entered into our raffle where we're raffling large screen TVs, sound systems, headphones, and a variety of different other gifts and giveaways, cash, as a way to just celebrate our team as well. So I think that summarizes just a little bit about what we get to do for our employees, but I will say that we are very people-centric here as an organization, and it's really important for us to put our people first.
Sounds like work hard, play hard as well.
Very much so. Very much so.
Speaking of working hard, and for people who are actually transitioning from one place to another, from one culture to a different one, work space wise, what would be your advice to international candidates or those new to American luxury hospitality who want to make their application stand out? What is really important for them?
Great question. I think it really starts with the why, you know, and really getting, you know, exploring that why. We all have our passion points, like why do we get up in the morning? Why do we put the hours in whatever we're doing, right? I think it's important to identify the why. And also, if you're not sure of your why yet, that's okay. At least starting to ask that question and then starting to think about your resume and how do you apply that to your resume and your CV and what you're presenting, because I think it's really important that your passion shows. So whatever you're passionate about, that you're leading with that, you know. And I think what's great about hospitality, especially luxury hospitality, is there's a place for everyone, right? So whether you're passionate about culinary and being in the kitchen, or you're passionate about serving, you know, beverages and cocktails, or maybe you're passionate about just having those great quality engagements, right? Like working the door, or working bell service, or maybe it's about that you love to be on the phone, right? Like you spend time chatting with your friends for hours on end, that maybe reservations might be a great place, right? Or maybe it's like like to solve critical and complex problems and work at a very high like level of stress that maybe concierge might be great, right? That's our
I never
executive
thought
assistant.
of that.
Right? So that way, we're able to, really be that executive assistant to each and every guest. So I think the first thing is, just thinking about and considering your why, making sure that your passion does translate in your resume. I think, when we start to engage with candidates, it's really about understanding, are they open? Right? Are they interested in really learning? Are they interested in really taking in all of their observations, the feedback, the development? And then on top of that, too, I think it's really important to think about what do you want to get out of the time that you're here?
Mm,
And I've talked to my colleagues and coworkers about this in senior leadership about how courageous everyone is to think about leaving their home and flying clear across seas to come into a whole new country, a whole new city, potentially a whole new language, a
yeah.
whole new culture, because they're passionate about hospitality and they want to learn that how big is that? And how can we honor that? How can we continue to value that like how we've been doing thus far and really nurture that, right? And so thinking about the why, how do you translate on that, your resume with that, speaking about your passions and really thinking intentionally about what do you want to get? Because everyone that is making these choices, it takes a lot, right? It's a lot of courage that goes into that choice. So really being intentional that you can get as much as you can out of that time, and then speaking about your accomplishments, your skill sets, and really speaking from the gut, if you will.
Yeah. So it does seem like you appreciate the adventurousness of your candidates.
Very much so, very much so.
Last but not least, talking about you, Elizabeth, what excites you the most about being part of the Hermitage Hotel team? What keeps you
Mm.
passionate about working at Tennessee's only Forbes 5-star and triple A 5 diamond property?
Great question. And thank you for asking that question. The people. It's the people. I think, I'm very grateful to be part of this organization and, see like from our managing director, Miss Dee Patel, who is both inspirational and aspirational and always is asking the right questions and getting us to really, metacognitively process and think about our thinking and dive into the details and elevating and driving us. And then, who she surrounded herself with, like all of the senior leadership team, we all have a passion for service. We're all co-collaborative and we all come from different backgrounds, right? Like, myself, I've been in a senior retail leadership for my entire career and, had my first leadership opportunity at 18. I had my first store management opportunity at 24 and have grown through, the pipeline all the way into corporate. And finally, I'm at a place in my career where I just want to give back.
Mhm.
We've all had opportunities where people have seen that spark in us, and have tried to nurture that spark. And I want to do that for others because I do believe in people and the importance of valuing people. So I would say that my why and my excitement for the organization is our people, first and foremost. And then second to that, I had spoke briefly about innovation, thinking about we have 970 plus service standards that we need to hit each and every time. So how do we innovate, bridging our people and the learning gaps that might be there to think outside of the box, lean into creativity to support solutions. And I think what's great about that is it really aligns back to the women's suffrage movement in the early 1900s, and that's one of a big notable thing that has happened right here in the Hermitage. We were able to have the ratification of women's suffrage right here in this building, where we were able to gain equal rights for women's voting right here. And I think that story, I know. And I think that story is so cool and so influential because we all take a different piece of reflection from that. And one piece of reflection I took was change and how incredibly important change is, but in the human experience, how change can be so scary, right? And I think it really aligns with Placement International and our J1 program about,
It does.
candidates deciding to make that change, right? Like, hey, I want to move into luxury hospitality. I want to travel now, and I'm using all of this courage and all of this passion to drive me into this field. And so for me, I would say my passion point is to be on the receiving end and to welcome everyone to the organization and make sure they're serviced and supported to the best of our ability for their next steps, whether it's here within the organization or to springboard them to next. And then I think I would like to end on just the fact that our team is really passionate and committed to our mission and values. And, I think that for myself, all of my career thus far has really come to this point where now I get to give back and use all of those skill sets to really support the organization. So, with the utmost gratitude, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be present in this call today. And I'm glad to be able to share my passion for people in service and innovation.
You're in a beautiful mission, Zachariah. Amazing one.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for sharing these incredible insights into the Hermitage Hotel, what it means to you to work with the property, and what it means to work at one of America's most prestigious properties overall. This has been truly inspiring. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. We hope this session has given you a clear picture of what working at the Hermitage Hotel involves and whether this might be the right next step in your hospitality career. If you're interested in joining the Hermitage team and working at Forbes 5-star and triple A5 diamond standards in the heart of Nashville, don't wait. These opportunities at properties of this caliber are rare. To learn more and apply, visit our website at www.placement-international.com or contact us directly at info@placement-in.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media for updates on future live events and exclusive opportunities at luxury properties around the world. Thank you again for being here, and we hope to see you at the Hermitage Hotel soon, continuing the legacy of excellence that's made Meet Me at the Hermitage one of hospitality's most iconic phrase. Thank you. Have a lovely day ahead.